Okay, to begin our ceremony, I'll ask that you please stand as the national anthem is performed by members of our a cappella group, the Serotonins.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave.
That was fantastic, thank you. And please be seated. So, good afternoon. My name is Mike Brands. I'm MCG's Vice Dean for Academic Affairs. On behalf of our faculty and staff at our campuses throughout the state, represented by the folks here on stage with me, welcome you all to the White Coat Ceremony for the class of 2029. So you'll hear a lot of remarks this afternoon about the symbolism of the white coat. I always like to make this an occasion to welcome the family and friends. This is kind of your first chance to be part of MCG, be part of where your favorite student is going to medical school. And so it really, to me, it's not unlike when you first dropped them off at grade school or went to those parent-teacher orientation homeroom things. And I was, 4 kids, I was part of that. Of course, back then, for my oldest daughter, that's when video cameras were the full-size VHS camcorders, right? So walk in there and Channel 9 live from Mrs. Jones' classroom watching Trisha put her books in her cubby, right? Of course, she's very embarrassed. But you all have been through the drill. You're pros at this. With 15, 20 years or so of being filmed, you're used to that, right? There's no sweat for you all to get filmed again. So in addition to it reminding me of just that experience for the first day of school, when you drop your kids off at school, you're leaving them in the charge of somebody you don't really know. This is kind of scary. You just turn them loose and you hope they're going to take care of them. And that's sort of the same here. You don't really know who we are. So I want to thank the folks who helped put this ceremony on today. And I think that might kind of give you a glimpse of who we are and who's taking care of your loved ones here in front of us. So to start with, it's Dr. Jennifer Tucker and Dr. Lynn Kuhl kind of led the effort. But tons of staff hours into getting this set up. And our team captain, if you will, for the staff is Elise Vega. I know yesterday morning there was Elise and Sandy were left at 8 o'clock to come down here with all the student affairs folks and other people from academic affairs to set this up, spend all day down here. And they're, of course, here even helping out today. But it's been going on for longer than just a day, a couple days. I mean, for weeks, there's been students in academic affairs being fitted for their white coats and coming back and being measured again, and maybe a third time. Of course, last week, they were delivered, so they're back in the academic affairs suite trying them on. So every time I walk past the front of the office, there's somebody up there doing this. There's Georgette and Corliss and Diane and Elise, and they're pulling on things and all this again, just doing what they're told, 360s and posing. Actually, Corliss even took one student's coat home, ripped out the seams, really hemmed it and pressed it to make it fit better. So so on behalf of everybody up here, please join me in thanking those wonderful people. So that's a glimpse of who we are, and so really with no further ado, I just want to again welcome everybody to MCG. Congratulate the students. It's another one of many milestones you're going to pass along your medical career, and so with that I'll say thank you. Okay, it's now my pleasure to introduce the president of Augusta University, Dr. Russell Keene.
Well, good afternoon. Medical College of Georgia, class of 2029. It is truly my pleasure to be with you all this afternoon, and I'm joined by my wife, Karen Keene, First Lady of Augusta University. You'll be able to see her because she's in MCG green today, and thank you, Karen, for being here. There's also a gentleman that is no stranger to our students, and he doesn't know that I'm going to do this, but Officer Larry Carter, who is here as well. Where is he? Yeah, Officer Carter is very proud to say he absolutely was going to show up for this class. I want you to know that in addition to Officer Carter, at AU and the Medical College of Georgia, there are people that you may not even know that show up for you every single day. At Augusta University, we say that we're in the business of life-changing, life-saving education. And that comes from an almost 200-year history that the Medical College of Georgia has provided to this state and beyond. Today, you will be receiving your white coats. I understand that you've been here since July, but the symbolism of today is a commitment that you absolutely 100% are perfectly capable and able to be successful. The fact that you are here today, 304 of you, when there were 3,367 applications, you were chosen. Now, the average MCAT here is 512. The average GPA is 3.8. You hail from 49 counties and 64 universities. 21 of you have already determined that you will practice in underserved communities. But you were chosen not only for your academic excellence, you were chosen because the spirit of medicine is the foundation of humanity. And whomever you interviewed with saw something extraordinary in you, something special. Yes, you will endure many points of adversity in your time here. But I want to tell you that while medicine is one of the oldest professions in civilization, caring for one another, healing one another, you will also have a faculty, the 4th largest medical school in the country, the 13th oldest, of individuals who not only practice medicine, but have made it their commitment to help the next generation to continue its furtherance. At the Medical College of Georgia, you will not only be exposed to some of the finest faculty and clinicians across this country. But you will have the opportunity to have this academic medical center, the state's only public academic medical center that you will be a part of. In a room like this all over the state, wherever you are, you try this out. If you ask it, how many of you have been impacted in some form or fashion by the Medical College of Georgia? There will always be hands that go up. And the reason is because we are about improving every single interaction, improving the health of our state, improving the health care of humanity through research and clinical care. And now you, today, the symbolism. With all these faculty and clinicians up here, they say when they put that coat on you that they are absolutely 100% committed to your success and your future. And one day, when you are hooded and you go out and practice, you too will be part of the enduring legacy that continues to make the Medical College of Georgia the very best medical school in the country. You are chosen because you are the best of the best. You absolutely can do this. And it was my pleasure to introduce someone that I've had the opportunity to work with for 11 years. I've been serving in this role for about 15 months. But in the time that I've worked with Dr. David Hess, I not only see that he is a man of humility, he's one of the smartest, kindest, compassionate men I've ever had the opportunity to work alongside. He's absolutely committed to the success of our students, but also to growing the impact and the respect of the Medical College of Georgia. He has helped recruit some of the finest clinicians, researchers, and practitioners in the country to serve you. You all please give a warm welcome to your dean, Dr. David Hess.
Thank you very much for those kind words. And there's no president who supports their medical school and First Lady, I mean, they're wearing green, than our president and First Lady. So we really appreciate that. That's wonderful to have a president that supports MCG. You know, parents, there's 3 great festivals of MCG. One is the White Coat Ceremony. Then the next one isn't for 3 years. It's Match Day in 29, and then there's graduation. So this is the first of the 3. As President Keene said, we have a large medical school. We have to put 304 white coats on today. That's about the 3rd largest white coat ceremony probably in the country, so I'm going to be brief. Brevity is the soul of wit, or we'll be here all day. But I just wanted to point out some, for the parents and the students, you maybe haven't encountered some of these leaders yet, but I want to point out John Fisher here. John Fisher, look at that. He has won more teaching awards than anyone in the history of MCG. In fact, I lost count. I think it's in triple digits, but it's amazing. So congratulations. And then I just want to say, I want you to meet our regional campus deans. Some of you have met them. They are the strongest regional deans, I think, in the country. They're all a bunch of characters, too, which I don't have time to get into all that. And I think they're over here. So start with Paul Brock, Commander Pilot Paul Brock in Rome. Dixon Freeman in Dalton, stand up. Doug Patton, Farmer Doug, Kush Desai, thank you. And then the person that's to manage these people is Catherine Martin. So thank you very much. And then I want our Savannah contingent to stand up. Elizabeth Gray couldn't come. Just stand up quickly. I saw Philomi Powell, right? And then have our Athens contingent to stand up. Great. So, you know, we really have tremendous faculty. And as President Keene said, we have the best students. So we're one of the oldest medical schools, one of the largest, but we definitely have the best medical students in the United States. So thank you very, very much. And parents, remember this, we also have one of the lowest tuitions. It may not seem that way, but our tuition is one of the lowest in the country. So remember that. So I promised to stay brief, so I want to introduce our keynote speaker. We have a treat. Vanessa Spearman, who's on the stage here, is the president of the MCG Alumni Association. She just chaired a meeting this morning. She is a 2005 graduate of MCG. Not only that, her parents, Ron Spearman and Barbara Spearman, are MCG and DCG graduates. Vanessa is a native of Augusta, actually like Russell Keene. And she went to Davidson Fine Arts, Spelman College, MCG, and then she went to MUSC to do a combination internal medicine and psychiatry residency. So she's an internist and a psychiatrist, president of the Alumni Association, and a winner of many awards. In addition to that, she's our associate dean. It's the longest title, ready? For student, alumni, and community engagement. So it covers everything. In her spare time, I don't think she has any spare time. She has a husband and a son she takes care of, and she's very active in the community. So Vanessa, I'm going to turn the podium over to you. Give her a round of applause.
Thank you, Dr. Hess, for that introduction. To President Keene and Mrs. Keene, Dean Hess, Vice Dean Brands, campus deans, members of the Academic Affairs Senior Leadership Team, other distinguished guests, faculty and staff, I greet you in joy and peace on this momentous occasion. To family and friends and anybody who came from anywhere to celebrate this milestone in your loved one's life, I say thank you. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to celebrate with us. And to the amazing, magnificent, and brilliant class of 2029, I say to you, congratulations. Whether you made it here by summa cum laude, magna cum laude, or thank you laude, accepted off the wait list like I did, take a moment to just embrace this and celebrate. Each one of you are here not by chance, not by luck, but by divine appointment. All of the hard work, sacrifice, sleepless nights, and money. So let's face it, that MCAT prep, the MCAT and AMCAS, that's not cheap at all. So all of you are here, and all that hard work has paid off. And now we're celebrating you here at your white coat ceremony. And yes, today is a day of celebration and affirmation and confirmation. However, on a more serious note, it is a demonstration of your commitment to lifelong learning, healing, and servant leadership. As I was preparing for today, I became curious about the whole white coat ceremony and how it was started. And I found that it was reported that the first white coat ceremony took place at the University of Chicago's Pritzker School of Medicine in 1989. But the white coat ceremony, as we now know it, was created by pediatric neurologist Dr. Arnold P. in 1993, and it was held at Columbia University College of Physicians and Surgeons. Today, the white coat ceremony takes place at 97% of the AAMC accredited schools of medicine in the United States and Canada, and in schools in 13 different countries. There's a great deal of symbolism represented by the white coat. The white coat is a symbol of sacrifice, commitment, transition, professionalism, empathy, compassion, and medical humanism. Dr. Kaylor Heller describes humanism in medicine as maintaining a focus on the human dignity of each patient, recognizing the importance of understanding unique, individualized needs of each patient, and viewing patients from a holistic and understanding lens. The Gold Humanism Foundation describes humanistic care as care established in kindness, safety, and trust. In medical humanism, we must care for patients simply because they are human. We must care for patients knowing that in any given moment, we could become a patient ourselves. And if it weren't for the grace of God, we would not have the opportunity to serve as healers. There are many attributes that contribute to practice of humanism in medicine. However, the following attributes are a few that I would like to share with you. humility, unwavering conviction, mantra, advocacy, navigation, inquisitiveness, servant leadership, and mindfulness. Humility. Within each one of you, a special gift has been embedded to be birthed in your near future. Special seeds have been planted that in your lifetime will produce a magnificent harvest. I'm honored that our paths crossed, and I look forward in sharing in your future successes. However, I want you to remember two things. No matter how many degrees that you obtain, no matter how many leadership positions you obtain, no matter how many foundations and programs that you start, no matter how much money you make, you still have to put on your underwear one leg at a time. And yes, your bowel movements still stink too. And as younger generations might say, I might have been a little extra with that one. But I wanted to make a point that from the moment of conception in your mother's womb to the day that you take your last breath, you are human. In humanity, you may achieve greatness, but you will never be able to achieve perfection. You will make mistakes, but do not let them define you. Learn from them and grow from them. If you hurt somebody, say, I'm sorry. And if somebody hurts you, process the incident, reflect upon your part in the situation, and forgive. Unwavering conviction. By virtue of being in this room, it's safe to assume that many, if not all of you, view medicine as your calling. It was not a choice, it was your destiny. And in walking in this calling, you are not bound by the constructs of time, convenience of lifestyle, and politics. You became a physician because you truly wanted to ameliorate human suffering through disease. Unfortunately, many of our colleagues do not share this belief that medicine is a calling. In the new millennium, sadly, medicine has been reduced to a job, a 9-to-5, a means to make money, and for some, even a side hustle. Sadly, it will not be uncommon for you to be ridiculed when you stay late to answer questions from a patient's loved one, prolong your patient encounter to provide a shoulder for a patient to cry upon, or reach into your pocket to pay for a much-needed medicine that your patient cannot afford. Do not be afraid to stand up for what is right, even if that means standing alone. For acts of kindness and justice are not random acts committed in a vacuum. They affect positive changes within individuals, within families, and within communities. Mantra. I think of a mantra as being a statement that is reflective of one's core values. It often reflects one's goals for a particular stage in life. The word mantra itself is taken from Hinduism and is an utterance, word, or phrase that is repeated during meditation or prayer. So your mantra, it's kind of like a positive theme song that's playing in your head that serves as an anchor to your core beliefs in times of change, of uncertainty. Throughout phases of your life, your mantra may change. For instance, when I was in high school, my mantra was always face your fears. Embarrassment is ephemeral. Regret lasts a lifetime. For me in my teenage years, the biggest obstacle to success for me was fear of failure. This mantra helped me to remember that the only true failure in life is not trying at all. As I matured through college and medical school, my current mantra developed, and that is, life is not a competition, but a commitment to God, a commitment to self, a commitment to excellence. A person's value, success, or lack thereof is not dependent upon someone else. The gifts that have been birthed within you are for you, and you are not in competition with anyone. Thus, you should feel free to rejoice when others are successful, and feel free to feel sadness when others are not successful. Advocacy. It's so important for you to realize that not everyone is blessed to have a support system. You may be the only advocate that a patient has. Your goal in medicine should never be to achieve good enough. Your goal should be helping your patient to get back to their best selves. So many times people are discharged from the hospital prematurely to suffer morbidity and even mortality because it was more convenient to pay attention to the length of stay and to make our statistics and numbers look pretty than it took to actually take the time to make sure that the patient was safe. It's not good enough to discharge a patient home to continue healing if they can't afford the life-sustaining medication needed. And just because we've completed the treatment needed to satisfy the admission diagnosis doesn't mean that a patient doesn't have other problems that need to be addressed. I had one patient who was sent from an outside emergency room for treatment of severe pyelonephritis, so a severe kidney infection. And once her fever subsided and she showed signs that the antibiotic was affected, it was time for her to go. However, the problem was the patient was only 18 years old and inexperienced in life. She was transported to our hospital without any ID, money, or belongings, and her family had no way of coming to pick her up. Upon soliciting help of the social work team without success, our team made the decision to discharge the patient to the bench, and she would just have to figure out things on her own. But where there's a will, there is definitely a way. I actually went to the sample closet in one of our outpatient clinics. I probably wasn't supposed to do that. And I got 7 days worth of the exact antibiotic that she needed. I called her family and asked if they would be willing to wire money to the patient. I looked up the bus schedule and found a bus station that was about 20 minutes away from the family's home and verified that the family could pick her up. I called Western Union and I asked if they would accept a password in place of an ID. I called a cab company and asked if they would pick her up, take her to Western Union to get the money to pay for the cab, and also pay for the bus ticket and get her to the bus station. I wrote down the time and number of the bus for the patient to give to the clerk so she could purchase the bus ticket, and 4 hours later, I called the patient to see that she had safely made it home. Navigation. The art of negotiation is also important in medicine. The doctor-patient relationship is a partnership. There's a give and a take as well as a push and a pull. Those of us who approach medicine with the parental view or the MD approach have truly missed the mark with respect to humanism. So don't let this be you. With respect to patients, navigating preferences and boundaries gives one political capital and also helps one to gain trust and respect. Respect has to be given in order to be received, and trust has to be earned. Even though you as a provider may be more worried about a patient's obesity and prediabetes, you must not fail to address the immediate concerns of the patient. In addressing the immediate concerns of the patient, you have shown respect, and you will likely earn trust. You're laying the foundation for a working relationship that can last a lifetime. Even the best of doctor-patient relationships are not easy. Sometimes patients have symptoms that are difficult to diagnose, and sometimes patients have diagnoses that are difficult for both of you to carry. However, if you have a solid foundation, one can navigate the situation well, no matter what the outcome. Inquisitiveness. Throughout your career, you will be a lifelong learner in medicine. In medicine, there are two distinct types of learning. There's learning through scholarship and book work, they're what we call evidence-based, and there's experiential learning, in other words, learning by watching or doing, hence the phrase, see one, do one, teach one. When you're in the phase of your medical education where you're learning by experience, don't lose your inquisitiveness. Always ask why. Servant leadership. Never become so successful that you forget your humanity. Remember, we established earlier the two facts about your underwear and your bowel movements? The most effective leaders and thus successful leaders are ones who never ask more of someone than they're willing to do themselves. Servant leaders tackle the most menial of tasks with the same enthusiasm as they tackle the most challenging of tasks. It won't kill you to make your own cup of coffee, scan your own documents, and email your own notes. Having help with these tasks is a privilege. It's not a right. Similarly, in medicine, knowing how to start an IV, knowing where the hospital replacement linens, extra food, and facial tissue is kept, knowing how to schedule follow-up appointments, and knowing how to help a patient navigate various discount prescription formularies as well as community resources, can create an environment where coworkers, colleagues, and staff turn into family. It can create an environment which the science of medicine can turn into the art of healing. Mindfulness. Perhaps the most important attribute of humanism is being mindful that we as human beings are put on this earth by our Creator to serve mankind. We are not meant to exist on an island or function in a silo. We are communal people who function in many roles. In addition to being physicians, we are children and parents, we are sisters and brothers, we are wives and husbands, we are uncles and aunts, we are cousins and friends. Likewise, our patients function in many roles as well. Take the time to appreciate how these roles and functions impact the lives and health of your patients. It will save you a lot of heartache. My personal definition of non-adherence is the failure of a physician to assist in and empower the patient to remove the barrier and obstacles to care. Sometimes the barriers to care are purely obstinance, but quite often it's the multifactorial issue of lack of knowledge and financial strain being driving forces. So practicing medicine with humanism quite often requires hard work, sleepless nights, sweat, and sometimes tears. Each patient that you encounter will come with a unique story, and each patient that you encounter will teach you a lesson. Sometimes these lessons are about life, and sometimes these life lessons are about medicine. Perhaps the most important lesson that I have personally learned is that we as physicians have limitations. Sometimes the best medicine that we have to offer is simply not good enough to restore health in an individual. It is in this moment of realization that one must remember that healing is multifaceted. Sometimes healing means helping a patient and a patient's family prepare for death. And in doing so, one should not feel defeat. When true healing takes place, the reward is worth more than any sum of money. And I'm honored to have been given the opportunity to speak to you today. I wish for you a lifetime of healing. Thank you. All right, we have part of our program that we'd like to acknowledge our Medical College of Georgia alumni. As the current president of the MCG Alumni Association, it's my privilege and honor to recognize the alumni of the Medical College of Georgia who have joined us today for today's ceremony. Your presence reminds us that the White Coat Ceremony is not only a beginning, but also a continuation of a proud legacy of service, scholarship, and compassion. We invite alumni to stand as their decade is called, and we'll ask everyone to join us in acknowledging their contributions to medicine and to this institution. Will the alumni who graduated in the 1950s and the 1960s please stand? And as I understand, we have two grandfathers that have children who are being coded today. Will all the alumni who graduated in the 1970s please stand? And I have to do this, that's my daddy in the back. All the alumni who graduated in the 1980s, please stand. And our alumni who graduated in the 1990s, please stand. Our alumni who graduated in the early 2000s, please stand. will our alumni who graduated in the 2010s please stand? And finally, our most recent graduates, will all alumni who graduated in the 2020s please stand? A special thank you to all our alumni for representing the enduring spirit of the Medical College of Georgia. Your example lights the path for future physicians as the ones we celebrate today. Now please join me in welcoming Dr. Shelley Nuss to the podium.
All right, well, let's get this party started. We're getting closer to the white coats. All right, good. Well, listen, Shelley Nuss here, hailing from Athens, Georgia, Dean of the Medical Partnership Campus. And though this has been a really unique arrangement between MCG and UGA, and we've been open now for 15 years, it's hard to believe. So lots of students here. We're up to 60 per year now graduating from this campus, and so we're so excited to be here. You know, it really has been a unique experience. We rely very heavily on our volunteer faculty in the community, and I just want to say hats off to all of them for all of MCG. If you're here, thank you so much for all you do. I think it's a really nice blend of academic and community and private practice that really is an unparalleled experience for the students that are in Athens. So real quickly, I think we've heard some of this, but just because this is why we're here, it's about that white coat you're putting on and what that means. So in '88, it was Arnold P. Gold Foundation that established this, and the main thing that it focused on was humanism in medicine. How do you keep that compassion and empathy going forward long into the future as you deal in a very stressful environment? And what does this white coat remind us of? It's the knowledge that you're acquiring here at MCG, the duty, the skills, the professionalism, and it is that importance of compassion and humanism. And I talk about this a lot with our students. But I do want to remember, under the umbrella of that white coat are all the people that have supported you along the way. Hats off to the families. Let's give them a round of applause. We've got our amazing faculty behind us doing a lot, and we've got staff and all of our administrators. Remember, keep all of these people and all the influences and support that they have given you through the years, because you will be leaning on that in this journey before you. So please, wherever your medical training takes you, and we want you to stay here in Georgia, right? Wear your white coats with pride and privilege, but what is most important is with humility. As you enter this profession, know you are absolutely committed to a life of service for your patients and communities, and you're there to heal the suffering in others and listen carefully. And if you do that, you will be a very successful physician. So now I think this is a really special moment in tradition here at the White Coat. We wanted you guys to hear from the class presidents of the Augusta and the Athens campus to share what the meaning of their white coat has been now, reflecting back on the past 3 years. So I'm going to ask Anna Sophia Chung to come up, and then James Dornbush from the Athens campus. So thank you, and let's celebrate, baby.
Good afternoon, family, friends, and loved ones, and congratulations to the class of 2029. Today's a very special day. It is the last day your white coat will ever look so clean. I have the battle scars to prove it, I promise. Standing here today, I can't help but think back on my own white coat ceremony just 3 years ago. I remember sitting right where y'all are now, tugging at the sleeves of my brand new coat, wondering if I looked more like a doctor or like a kid playing dress up. Spoiler alert, for at least the first 2 years, it's definitely the latter. My white coat felt heavy back then, not because of the fabric, but because of what it represented. Responsibility, trust, integrity, the privilege of being invited into people's lives at their most vulnerable moments. But what I didn't realize at the time was that this coat would also come to represent community. The people who would hold me up when I felt like I couldn't keep going. And the patients who would remind me again and again why I started in the first place. You're about to begin a journey that's challenging, humbling, and if you let it be, incredibly beautiful. You'll memorize countless pathways, mechanisms, drug names, and then promptly forget half of them before you take step one. You'll study harder than you ever have, and somehow still feel like it's not enough. You'll meet patients who break your heart and others who change it. And somewhere along the way, you'll start to realize that becoming a physician isn't just about learning medicine, it's about learning yourself. You'll learn what kind of teammate you are when everyone's exhausted on a 12-hour call when you're on your surgery rotation. You'll learn how to sit with uncertainty and how to offer presence when there are no answers. And you'll learn, sometimes the hard way, that growth doesn't always feel good when it's happening. When I was a first year, I thought medicine was about knowing. Now, as a fourth year, I've learned that it's just as much about listening. Listening to your patients, yes, but also listening to your friends, your mentors, your classmates, and yourself. Because somewhere between the anatomy lab and the hospital halls, it's easy to lose your voice in the noise of exams and evaluations and expectations. But the truth is, your voice, your story, and your why, that's what will make you the kind of doctor your patients will never forget. And if I can offer one piece of advice, it's this. Don't go through medical school trying to prove that you belong here. You already do. Instead, spend these next 4 years becoming the kind of physician, the kind of human you want to be when this white coat is no longer new. For me, that meant finding purpose and service in the community work that reminded me medicine is not just about treating illness, but about building trust, showing up for people when systems don't. It meant rising up as a leader through hard times, like during Hurricane Helene, when communication had broken down and our class had to step up for one another. It meant realizing that the moments that define you aren't the ones that go perfectly, but the ones where you choose compassion over comfort and persistence over pride. You will have your own defining moments. Your first patient who thanks you, your mentor who teaches you how to be resilient in hard times, and yes, your first mistake, which I'm sure you'll replay hundreds of times over in your head. But each of those moments will shape you into a physician who's not only competent, but deeply human. So, as you put your white coat on today, take a moment to really feel the weight of it. Feel the weight of your loved ones who have supported you along the way. Feel the pride of all the hard work you've put in. And feel the joy of all the opportunities you have to come. Congratulations to the class of 2029. Welcome to this journey, and we're so proud to have you join us.
Hi, everyone. My name is James Dornbush. As previously mentioned, I'm the fourth-year president, Anna Sophia's counterpart at the Athens campus. You know, just sitting up front here today, it made me think back to being in your shoes 3 years ago. I never thought that I'd be sitting up here looking at where I was, and so it's really a privilege to be up here. Today, I'd like to take my time to talk about something I recently reflected on during residency interviews. For those who don't know, the fourth years are currently in the process to interview for residency. Every specialty is different, but most programs began the interview process recently. This past week, I had my first one. At one point, I was asked, "Can you tell me about a time an attending physician criticized you?" My mind immediately jumped to an attending on a recent rotation who asked me something about E-cadherin and its role in breast cancer imaging and PET scans. And I definitely didn't have the right answer. But instead of going for that low-hanging fruit or simple example, I thought back to something that cut a little deeper. It was during my pediatrics rotation. That morning, my attending and I had been talking about residency. The long hours, the pay, the responsibilities, a lot of the negatives, really. A little later, we went in to see our next patient, a young child with his dad. The dad asked me how much longer I had left in medical school, and we got to talking about the transition to residency. He mentioned how exciting it must be to finally start making money. Without thinking, I just said, yeah, but it ends up being less than minimum wage once you calculate the hours worked. It's something I've heard dozens of times throughout third year. It was almost a mantra or a running joke among students and residents. I didn't think much of it. After the visit, though, my attending pulled me aside. She told me gently but firmly that my comment might have come across as insensitive, especially in a clinic for the underinsured. What sounded like to me a casual remark about work-life balance could have carried a completely different meaning for that dad, who may have been struggling to make ends meet. That feedback from my attending hit me harder than I had expected. When I thought about it, I realized how callous I'd become. In college, I minored in healthcare disparities. I spent nights volunteering in free clinics. I was deeply passionate about understanding patients' circumstances and the obstacles that they shaped the access to their care. But fast forward halfway through my third year, I was buried in studying, notes, exams. I'd lost that touch with that side of myself, the part that first drew me to medicine. It was a sobering realization, not because my priorities had shifted temporarily, I think that's normal, but because I hadn't noticed it happening. I had let the pace of medical training dull the empathy and awareness that once left instinctive. That experience taught me something that I want to pass to all of you as you begin this journey. Make time to reflect. Right now, you're entering medical school fresh off an application process that forced you to articulate your story. Who are you? What drives you? Who do you hope to become? You know your why better today than perhaps you ever will again. But over the next 4 years, it's easy to lose sight of that. Between exams, anatomy labs, clerkships, step exams, your world can start to narrow into checkboxes and deadlines. When that happens, and it probably will, take a step back and revisit what matters most to you. Hold fast to the things that make you, you. Whether that's being married, having worked before medical school, being a first-generation student, or whatever path brought you here, those aren't side notes to your story. They're your foundation. Those qualities help you earn your white coat, and they'll help you grow into the kind of physician you want to be. So as you put on your coat today, remember, it's not just a symbol of your entry into medicine, it's a reminder to stay grounded in your humanity. Because medicine will challenge you, it'll stretch you, it'll humble you. But if you hold on to your values and take time to reflect along the way, it'll also shape you into the physician and person that you're meant to become. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2029.
Thank you, Anna Sophia and James. Now you're in for a special treat. Listen to the words of this song that is sung by the MCG student a cappella group, the Serotonins.
The class liaisons at orientation, yeah, they told me I don't need to worry. Ooh, med school came like cinnamon, so sweet. There are so many new people to meet. Maybe sometimes we get it wrong, but it's alright. The more things seem to change, the more they stay the same. sipping coffee you got from Einstein's. Don't you let those quiz reviews fool you. You know more than you think that you do.
Maybe sometimes we feel that stress, but it's alright. The more you stay the same, the more things seem to change. You're gonna do so great. Go put your white coat on. Your pre-med days are gone. You go ahead, put your coat on.
Sapphire and faded scrubs, we hope you get your sub. Specialty that you've been dreaming of. You're gonna save some life somewhere out there. MCAT or go biochem felt like they never end. Eager for MCAS to send. Zoom interviews were longer than I got in MCG. And it felt like all the doors were wide open. We're gonna do medicine. Girl, put your white coat on. Your pre-med days are gone. You go ahead, put your coat on. Sapphire and faded scrubs, we hope you get your stuff. Specialty that you've been dreaming of. Go put your white coat on. Your pre-med days are gone. You go ahead, put your coat on. Sapphire faded scrubs, we hope you get your stuff. Specialty that you've been dreaming of. You're gonna save some life somewhere out there.
And now the moment that you've been anticipating since late July has arrived. Will the stage party and student marshals please take their position? As the students approach the stage, I would ask that the first set of Augusta faculty coders approach the front of the stage to place the coats on our first group of students.
Peace Abiyegan. Ayub Abubakar. Benjamin Aderenwale. Zanita Adu. Grace Gayan An.
Taqwa Hashim Ali. Isabella Allen. Asher Altman. Ekta Anand. Krithi Ariga.
You may now be coated.
Matthias Bellotti. Grady Beach. Alex Behi.
Danielle Ben Ari.
Charles Benson. Lawson Berg. Bona Celine Bitegiko.
Kaylee Renee Booth. Cole Bousquet.
You may now be coated.
Alex Bradham.
Faith Burnett. Jacob Calamaro.
Raji Chamala.
Kate Chapman. Anjali Chareddy. Antara Chowdhury. Jeremiah Clemens. Margaret Collier. Gabriel Corbett.
You may now be coated.
Nick Crow. Madeline Dada. Ashika Dantuluri. Nathan Davis. Emma Del Fabro. Anushka Deer. Aditi Dillon. Arushi Dillon. Ryan Lee Dixon.
You may be coated.
Sai Dikshita Doma. Ria Doshi. Ashrar Dua.
Anna Dorr.
Sean Dua. Sreya Durvasula. Claire Emsch.
John Ing.
Sarah Farstrom. Angela Francis.
Dina Gia.
You may now be coated.
Manashwi Chimire. Rachel Goldie. Ria Govin. Samuel Granelli. Briston Green. Colby Gross. Dustin Grossman. Rithwik Guntaka. Syama Gupta. Muhammad Aizaz Haider.
You may now be coated.
Besma Hamid.
Aman Hashim.
Juliet Hoggabook.
Jacqueline Heklinski.
Vladimir Hilaire.
Sarah Hill.
Jacob Hollum.
Anna Hu.
William Yuji.
Sydney Hunter.
You may now be coated.
Sierra Mae Highland. Joel Jacob. Siri Jangum. Linda Jawahar. Lori Claire Jones. Natalie Joy Jones. Austin Joshua. Simran Kalsi. Bintu Norkibe. Matthew Kadida.
You may now be coated.
Arvin Kidmati Alemi. Esther C. Kim. Jonathan Kim. Carly Kimpling.
Leka Samyukta Koganti. Kirtana Konduru.
Melissa Krzawanski. Rithvik Kumar. Suchita Kumar. Logan Langner.
You may now be coated.
Elise Larson. Megan Elizabeth Lawson. Joseph Q. Jung Lee. Myung Jin Lee. Sapam Lee. Jolene Liu. Victor Ki Yen Lim. Caleb Lindman. Taylor Kate Luker. Taryn Renee Likes.
You may now be coated. And now I would like to request that the second set of Augusta faculty coders approach the front of the stage.
Connor Lyons.
Shashank Madarapu. Jiwaka Manamendra. Sydney Mance. Sivasai Manyapu. Lauren McCrae. Cole McDaniel.
Kamya Mera.
Ethar Murgani.
Nitya Tansi Reddy Modula.
You may now be coated.
Aditi Mohan. Georgia Monk. Christy Moss. Tej Murudkar. Kaushik Murugan. Zainab Nabi. Pranav Nedumpurath. Ivan Wynn. Sydney Wynn.
Tana B. Wynn.
You may now be coated.
Olivia Noble. Owen Noon.
Caroline Nowatkowski.
Sarah Nurpasov. Tioluwani Olatunji.
Owosa Omobude.
Feras Osmani. Brendan Painter. Claire Pak.
Apurva P. Paled.
You may now be coated.
Sarah Beth Parrish. Emily Patel. Meeli Patel. Samai Patel. Tanvi Anu Patil. Rhea Payasapati. Kimia Painabard. Anna Raquel Perez Sanchez. Edgar Perry.
You may now be coated.
Elizabeth Emma Pettit.
Michael Fan, Kate Pollock,
Hawkins George Pons,
Bidya Pradhan, Aishwarya Ralabhendi, Nathan Ramaswamy,
Arya Ranchon.
Anve Rao, Sudipta Roth,
You may now be coated.
Rohan Ravirala,
Milan Ronvelwala, James Rowan,
Stephen Rubin, Yash Zajan, Ishika Samantarai, David Savik, Iman Sayani, Jenna Schaefer, Alexander Scheid,
You may now be coated.
Philip Schroeder, Ryan William Schumann, Melody Shellman, Julie Sheehan, Anna Silverio, Michael Skettle, Gabrielle Smith, Paige Sobchak, Rosemary Kiki Soto, Rajarajan Srinivasan,
You may now be coated.
Ethan Stats,
Anders Stevenson, Sharanita Sudhahar,
Stephanie Allison Nicole C, Gabriella Tandra, Humaira Tanzim,
Cabri Taylor,
Carrie Thomas, Catherine Thompson, Logan Tim,
You may now be coated.
Sherry Tsui, Stephen Vacha, Leah Varghese, Travis Varnum, Michael Vo,
Avery Walraven, Chasten Weaver,
Samuel West, Caroline Willis.
You may now be coated.
Hannah Wise,
Sean Ko Wu,
Carissa Wu, William Yang, Aditi Yelu, Diane Yi, Harley Yop, Luma Yunus,
Hala Youssef, Sarib Zafar,
You may now be coated.
Shafat Zaman, Selena Jang, Tamisha Ziglor,
You may now be coated. This concludes the student class from the Augusta campus. I would now like to welcome the faculty coders of the Athens Medical Partnership campus to the front of the stage.
Ansley Abel, Samantha Abakoff, Venkata Atluri, Caroline Beasley, Nicholas Betty, Burke Berry,
You may now be coded.
Javante Bowen, David Bunn,
Jack Cable, Rima Chande, Radhika Chatterjee,
Christine Chun,
You may now be coded.
Victoria Chung. Senhu Dwarampudi. Catherine Edgeman. Madeline Victoria Franz. Rafael Garcia Chirino.
Alana Jurl.
You may now be coded.
George Giano. Ruth Gomez. Olivia Gould. Sophia Hefner. Sahara Hetherington. Wen Hoang.
You may now be coded.
Caroline Akemi Soares Izuka.
Khadija Janjua. Sarah Johnson. Stephen Joseph. Adam Lababidi. Jordan Lake.
You may now be coded.
Chloe Lee. Maya Lee. Kelly Luo.
Emily McGuire.
Stanell Soren Mays. Jayshri Mankan.
You may now be coded.
Ethan Mann. Nikhil Manocha. Aliasgar Momin.
Nena Anora.
Noe Osman. Jay Patel.
You may now be coded.
Sanam Nilesh Patel.
Akshay Patwardhan.
Sarah Porter.
Elizabeth Powers. Ricardo Ramos. Rishab Rege.
You may now be coded.
Allison Claire Ripoll. Catherine Reiser. Adelaide Robertson. Taryn Robinson. Zachary Ethan Rowe. Jordan Sayowitz.
You may now be coded.
Raj Shah. India Smith. Atavan Subramaniam. Lisan Sun. Caitlin White. Kelly Chewan Yoon.
You may now be coded.
Rebecca Zahirovich. Gavin Zoe.
Big fan club. You may now be coded. This concludes the student class from the Athens campus. I would now like to welcome the faculty coders of the Savannah campus to the front of the stage.
Maddie Ahern.
Sung Jun Beck. Pranitha Batu.
Reagan Bray. Ethan Chang. Joyabhishek Samuel Charles.
You may now be coded.
Ikana Chukwu. Brooke Coates.
Ray Dabdoob.
Kayla Taylor. Samuel Gao. Abigail Giesler.
You may now be coded.
Nicholas Austin Goes.
John Gile. Jacob Jones. Nasim Jorabchi. Abhinav Joshi. Shayan Kabir.
You may now be coded.
Mackenzie Klepper. Harika Kosaraju. Catherine Kroger. Akhil Kulkarni. Abigail Lassiter. Colette Lowy.
You may now be coded.
Kiara Machado. Mary Ann Manley. Ashley Mixon. Kemp Norris. Vishwa Patel.
Anna Pulowski Jackson.
You may now be coded.
Hector Pulido Moreno. Walker Reynolds. Nicole Song. Thomas Steele. Kevin Thompson.
Olivia Tremere.
You may now be coded.
Manasa Vimaraju.
Jordan Vineyard. Ethan Wedge. Alexander Yeager.
You may now be coded. This concludes the student class from Savannah campus. It's now my honor to welcome Dr. John Fisher to the podium.
As our final portion of this ceremony, I will now lead the students in their class oath, and they authored this themselves during the first couple of weeks of classes. The oath may be found on page 5 of your program. So if the class of 2029 will please stand and face the families and friends who are here to support and celebrate your journey. Very proud of you. So I want you to recite with me the class oath. We, the class of 2029 of the Medical College of Georgia, swear by all those present today, the physicians who have come before us and those who will come after us, to adhere to the promises of this oath. To our communities and future patients, we promise to provide care with clarity and empathy, empowering them to make personal, informed decisions, to dedicate ourselves to a life of service, advocating for more inclusive, equitable, and high-quality health care for all. To our classmates and future colleagues, we promise to respect and value every member of the interdisciplinary healthcare team, collaborating to achieve our common goals, to hold ourselves and one another accountable, receive feedback with grace and humility, and seek progress through both our shortcomings and our successes. To ourselves, we promise to practice curiosity, fostering growth and prosperity for the future of medicine, to care for ourselves as we care for others, recognizing that our own well-being is vital to providing quality care, and to root our identity not only in our role as physicians, but also as community members, family, neighbors, and friends. Guided by integrity and anchored in compassion, we will never allow pride, prejudice, or personal gain to compromise our ethical responsibilities as medical students. We recognize the significance of the white coat and privilege to care for others as healers, educators, and advocates. We promise to remember our motivations for choosing medicine and those who have shown us their unwavering support.
Members of the community, I present to you the Medical College of Georgia class of 2029. Students, remember that you are here for a reason. You earned your seat. The people on this stage and in this audience are proud of you, have faith in you, and want you to succeed. I hesitate to say this, but this time is fleeting, and you should relish every moment with your new classmates, even anatomy practicals and MBME exams. Before you know it, you will all be back together at your hooding ceremony. Congratulations. please allow the stage party to recess, followed by President King, and the students to exit, and then remain in your seats until all have exited. Thank you very much.